Stop. Whatever you are doing right now, stop immediately. What I am about to reveal to you is not common advice, nor is it a passing theory. It is a light cast upon a movement happening right now in the shadows of your life. There are 3 people close to you. People who know your face, who know your voice, who know your dreams, but who are silently conspiring against your progress. They plan, they scheme, and they wait for the exact moment you let your guard down to divert the course of your harvest. You've been feeling this weight on your shoulders, haven't you? You've noticed that just when you're about to reach a new level, a door that was open closes without explanation, or a misunderstanding comes out of nowhere to drain all your energy. You have worked harder than anyone you know, and still, the result always seems to slip through your fingers because of small setbacks that shouldn't be there. I know what it's like to carry that fatigue, that tiredness that isn't physical, but spiritual. It's the exhaustion of someone who feels like they're walking on quicksand, where every step forward requires double the effort just to keep from being pulled back. I came here to tell you that this block is not a lack of ability. It's not a lack of merit, and it's not bad luck. It is the deliberate interference of those who fear the brightness you carry. You have been living under the weight of intentions that are not your own, and today, finally, the veil will fall. By the end of this conversation, you will recognize the identity of these 3 people by the pattern of behavior they repeat. You will learn the technique of stillness that neutralizes any plan crafted against you before the critical hour even arrives, and you will receive a revelation on how to seal your paths so that no hidden intention can ever interfere with your destiny again. You will understand, once and for all, why your achievements seem to stall just as success draws near, and how to turn this sabotage into an indestructible shield of protection. The anatomy of this block is precise. What you feel as a lock on your progress is, in truth, an attempt to drain your vital frequency. When you are close to a turning point, a promotion, a healing, a restoration of a relationship, these people feel the energy. Attention! You need to prepare yourself now. I have prepared material for those who doubt their own calling from God and still do not have confirmation. Are you one of the chosen? We'll give you that clarity. These are the 7 signs of the language of the calling, marks of God in the story of every chosen one, so you can reread your story and recognize the purpose sealed over you before the foundation of the world. Stop calling coincidence what is actually a calling. Stop silencing the sacred restlessness. Stop postponing the answer you feel. Your window is closing, and a chosen one who does not recognize the calling does not walk in purpose. More than 10,000 people have already read the 7 signs and received the conviction they had been seeking for years. They were just like you. They felt something no one understood. They lived in silent doubt, and they discovered it was real. And it had a name. The offer is open only this month. Access the link in the pinned comment now before doubt steals another year from your calling. Shift you cause. They don't want you to leave the place where they are still stuck. So they create distractions, they sow doubt, and they try to anticipate your move so that you never reach the destination that was reserved for you. But this gear of sabotage has a fundamental flaw. It depends on your reaction. It feeds on your worry, your fear, and your doubt. When you stop reacting and start observing, their plan loses its power. Take a deep breath now. Let the air fill the space that anxiety has occupied for so long. Typing these 3 numbers, 333, is your first step of authority, your yes to the divine protection that is beginning to manifest around who you are. It is a small mark of recognition that says you accept the clarity being delivered in this moment. Type 333, and then, without hesitation, bring your full focus back to me. The secret these people hide is that they are desperate to maintain control over the narrative of your life. They act like weeds in a garden that doesn't belong to them, infiltrating where you have planted effort and dedication. They look at your harvest, and, instead of being inspired, they plan how to divide the fruits before they have even ripened. Do you feel that when you talk to them? That sensation that you have to measure your words? That is the sign. It is the energy of envy, which, like a parasite, tries to attach itself to your vitality. But understand one fundamental thing. You do not need to fight them with the strength of your hands. You don't need to confront, you don't need to argue, and you don't need to try to prove anything. The power they have over your life ends exactly where your perception begins. When you identify the intention, you break the spell. They operate in the dark, based on the assumption that you are blind to their plans. The moment you see, their authority is revoked. It is a universal law. Light doesn't have to attack darkness. It just has to exist, and darkness ceases to be a place of power and becomes merely the absence of light. You have wasted an immense amount of energy trying to dodge the obstacles they place in your path, not realizing that if you simply stop looking at the weeds and fix your gaze on your own light, they will have no place left to anchor themselves. Your prosperity is not a game of chance. It is a natural unfolding of who you are becoming, and nothing, not 3 people, not 1,000 people, can stop a river from reaching the sea if it follows its natural course. Let this declaration mark the end of blindness regarding the intentions of others. The act of typing these 3 words makes your recognition of the truth permanent in your own trajectory. From this second onward, you are no longer someone who observes the block. You are someone who sees through it. Type firmly and clearly, "I am awake," and right after that, bring your attention back to our connection. The solution is not in doing more, but in being more. The return to your purpose requires you to redirect the flow of your energy back to what is essential. They plan so that you get lost in the process, so that you doubt your journey, so that you feel tired enough to give up on the last mile. But every time you choose your peace over a reaction to their plan, you are neutralizing the saboteur. Their planning fails when you refuse to be the protagonist of the story they wrote for you. It is a spiritual repossession. You are reclaiming the territory that was always yours, clearing the soil of your life so that only what is authentic can flourish. And about your like, understand that it is not a number for a machine. If this recognition brought you the peace you were seeking, let your like be your wordless amen. It's not about metrics. It's about a silent agreement that what was named here was named with truth. It is the seal that you accept the protection that was offered to you through this clarity. Look at your life now. Is there someone you know, someone you love, who is also carrying this invisible weight? That person who has been working hard, who has been seeking the right path, but lately seems to be living under a fog of frustration and stagnation, unable to find the way out. That person's face came to your mind just now, didn't it? It's no coincidence. There is a quiet quality about them, a constant effort that no one seems to recognize, and a hope that is being put to the test. Send this content to them, not as an ordinary suggestion, but as a delivery. The same relief that reached you now was destined for them by a commitment you cannot ignore. Before we finalize this experience, I need you to declare your place. Do this not as a wish or a hope, but as the definitive confirmation of your identity. The agreement formed between your perception and the divine revelation that has run through this time is the foundation upon which you will build the rest of your season. Type slowly, feel the weight of each word. Let your fingers confirm what your spirit has already declared as law. You are the choice. You are the way. You are the authority that breaks the cycle. You are protected. You are guided. You are renewed. Every plan that was drawn in the dark against your growth has just been undone by the light of your perception. You no longer run blindfolded. You no longer stumble over intentions you don't know. You are the master of your own harvest, the guardian of your own time. Imagine a vast garden where every seed you planted with sweat and faith has begun to sprout in silence. For a long time, you cared for that soil, removed the stones, watered it with patience, and protected each shoot from the wind. But while you focused on the growth, three shadows began to walk along the edges of your land. They carry no tools for cultivation. They bring no water or fertilizer. These three people act exactly like sophisticated weeds, growing intertwined with the roots you nurture. They feed on the same sap that should strengthen your purpose, stealing the vitality of what is rightfully yours, without you noticing the immediate loss. They infiltrate your circle, whisper criticisms disguised as advice, and watch every move, waiting for the exact moment when your harvest seems ripe enough to be diverted. It is a silent usurpation, carried out by those who know the value of what you have built, but lack the courage to sow their own field. The pattern is old, and for you it has become almost invisible due to the constancy with which it repeats. You feel an exhaustion that doesn't come from work, but from resistance. It's as if every time you are just a few steps away from a breakthrough, an invisible weight pulls at your ankle. This energy of envy, this planning by others that tries to drain your vigor, works like a drain of vital energy placed precisely at your points of greatest enthusiasm. They wait for the hour of your breakthrough, the hour that, for many, symbolizes the peak of progress, to create a block, to instigate a conflict, or to generate a doubt that makes you retreat when you should advance. They don't want you to reach the destination. They want you to consume your energy trying to solve the problems they themselves created in your path. While you wear yourself out fighting the disorder, they watch, hoping that your withered harvest will become their feast. It is a deliberate attempt to sabotage your time, to force a delay, to make your harvest be interrupted before you even touch the fruits. But listen closely, for the revelation that changes everything is this: you don't need to fight their plan with the strength of your arms, nor with arguments, nor by trying to convince someone who has chosen not to see your light. Your authority does not lie in reaction, but in the absolute stillness of your spiritual sovereignty. Human combat is exhausting, and deep down, that is exactly what they want, because by entering their arena, you descend to the level of their intention. Your true strength is silence. It is the ability to withdraw your attention from what they are plotting and return it to what you are. When you stop reacting, their plan loses its fuel. They depend on your conflict energy to sustain the sabotage. If you remove the focus, if you become unreachable to their influence, the plan crumbles on its own, because there is no ground for it to hold on to. Take a deep breath now. Feel the weight of this truth. Allow this declaration to mark the end of your blindness regarding the intentions that surrounded your field. The simple act of writing these 3 words seals your commitment to your own clarity, stripping the power from those who bet on your confusion. Type firmly and consciously, and then return to me, for we still have the way back to travel. The solution was never to fight. The solution is the return. It is the act of redirecting with surgical precision all the flow of your energy that was being drained outward and bringing it back to your purpose. Imagine now a river that had an artificial diversion created to irrigate someone else's land. Your job is not to destroy the other channel, but simply to close the gate that connected your source to them. You redirect the flow. You go back to watering only what is yours. When you make this movement of return, the energy that once fed their sabotage plan dries up immediately. Without your attention, without your reaction, and without your energy, the project of these 3 people loses its foundation. They plan the delay, but you, by reconnecting with your source, accelerate your time in such a way that their plan becomes obsolete. An old strategy for a harvest they can no longer reach. You are not just protecting yourself, you are becoming inviolable. From this moment, any plan drawn in the shadows against your progress has an expiration date, and that date is now. They expected to find a victim, but they found a force that has taken back the reins of its own destiny. It is the moment to reap, not to worry about who is looking over the fence. Your garden is protected by your own focus. Your harvest belongs to you. And now it is safe again, because you have finally decided that nothing and no one will take the place that belongs only to your purpose. Take a deep breath now, for what was exposed here is not just information. It is a tool for restoring your spirit. If something in this message confirmed what your intuition has been whispering for a long time, allow your like to be your wordless amen. Don't view this as a command or a social media metric, but as a spiritual signature, a seal you place upon this moment to confirm that the truth has been acknowledged and that protection is now activated over your path. It is a silent gesture of agreement with what was revealed. By doing this, you are declaring that you are no longer a target, but someone who is fully aware of their own authority. Let this small gesture be the proof that you have understood what was plotted against you, and that from today onward, you will not concede even 1 millimeter of energy to those who do not wish you well. Sit with this clarity for a moment. Let the weight fall from your shoulders as you realize their strength was fueled only by your unawareness. Now that the plan has been exposed, it loses its effectiveness. But there is a responsibility in knowing. There is someone in your circle, perhaps someone close to you, who has also been walking with this invisible weight. Think now of someone who shows a tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, someone who has been constantly the target of inexplicable misunderstandings, or someone who seems to always be on the verge of a great leap, but who suddenly stumbles for no apparent reason. That person's face is appearing in your mind now. It is no accident. It is an urgent reminder. Send this message to them, not as a recommendation, but as a delivery, like someone carrying a glass of fresh water to a person who has been under the scorching sun for too long. Before we move on, there is a step that consolidates everything that was said. External sabotage only finds fertile ground when we forget our own position in the world. You need to declare your sovereignty before your own life. Type these words slowly, feeling the weight of each letter. It is not a request, not a plea to the heavens. It is a confirmation of your identity. When you type this, you are reaffirming that the place you occupy cannot be taken, cannot be envied, and above all, cannot be sabotaged by any human planning. You are the choice. Your purpose was sealed before any of these three individuals could even hatch a plot. By stating this, you put a period on any attempt to divert your destiny. Now that you have assumed this place, understand the new configuration of your journey. You are protected, you are guided, you are renewed. With every step you take from this day forward, your intuition will be sharper, your discernment more precise, and your ability to recognize what is genuine will be absolute. You no longer walk blindly. You no longer need to ask who is against you, because your own light will make the intentions of others reveal themselves naturally without you having to lift a finger to fight. They will move away on their own, for they will not be able to withstand the frequency of your new firmness. You understand now that what once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle was, in truth, only a layer of dust that needed to be removed so that your true essence could shine. What was revealed is not just intellectual knowledge, it is a seed that was planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness, and what you feel now is the vibration of that seed beginning to break through the earth. Do not try to rush this process. Do not try to anticipate what will come next, for the simple act of recognizing these hidden intentions was enough to disarm the mechanism that sustained this sabotage. Your posture has changed. Your gaze has changed. The frequency you now emit is that of someone who not only knows who they are, but who also knows to whom their loyalty and their energy belong. What you carry within you is not something that can be taken away unless you allow it. And today you have withdrawn that permission. You did not give authority for these three voices. which tried to dictate the rhythm of your walk, to continue occupying the sacred space of your mind. By declaring your position, by planting your feet on the ground, you established a new frontier. Where there was once porosity, where there was once the gap through which others' intentions seeped into your personal field, there now exists a wall made of clarity and a serene detachment. They don't know how to deal with someone who doesn't react. They have no manual for someone who, upon perceiving the maneuver, simply leaves the game table and returns their focus to their own garden. Their inaction will become the ruin of their plan, for in the absence of your response, in the absence of your conflict, they will be fighting against the air, spending the last resources of an energy that no longer finds an echo in your life. Take a deep breath, for this is the moment to let go of the weight on your shoulders that you didn't even know you were carrying. The weight of watching, the weight of anticipating the blow, the weight of being the person who maintains the peace while others try to destabilize it. That weight is not yours. That burden was designed to be carried by those who created it, not by you. By returning each of these thoughts, each of these concerns, to their rightful owner, you free up an immense space, a clearing of silence and absolute peace that is now ready to be filled with what truly matters. It is a space that was destined for your growth, your creativity, and your connection with what is divine. But it was occupied by trivial worries about what others think or plan. Now, the house is clean, the table is set. The banquet that life has prepared for you can finally be enjoyed without the constant fear of invasive stares or hands that try to reach for what was not given to them. You are only beginning to see the outlines of this new freedom. What unfolds before you in the coming weeks and months is a sequence of events that will look like coincidences to an outsider, but that for you will be the undeniable proof that the alignment has been made. Doors that were stuck will begin to yield, not because you forced the handle, but because the structure that kept them locked has lost its strength. Relationships that were worn down by external expectations will regain their natural vitality, or they will dissolve with complete naturalness without the drama you feared. Everything that needs to be removed will be removed by time, by truth, and by the very inertia of what has no root. And everything that needs to be cultivated will find, for the first time in a long while, the necessary nutrients to flourish with the strength and beauty that have always been your trademark. You are safe, you are supported, and above all, you are exactly where you should be. Your presence is your greatest protection. Your stillness is your most powerful response. Nothing can touch that which you have declared as sacred, and today, your peace is your most sacred place of all. Walk with your head held high, for what has been broken is not your path, but rather the chains that prevented you from walking it with the fullness that is your natural inheritance. The horizon is clear. The sun is rising over a land that you now recognize as your own. If there is someone in your life who needs to hear these words today, someone who has been carrying this silent burden on their back, without complaining and without asking for help, someone who works 10 times harder than others and still feels success slip through their hands, know that this person's face is vivid in your mind right now. Send this message to them, not as a casual suggestion, but as a necessary delivery. They need to know that what they feel is not weakness, but the weight of a conspiracy that is losing its validity. Deliver this as an act of care, a ministry of clarity for someone who walks in the shadow of others' intentions without knowing that the light is already on their side. Before we close this cycle, I want you to make one last mark. Type the words "I am the choice" in the comments below, not as a request, not as a distant hope. Type it as a confirmation that you have finally understood your place in the order of things. The agreement made here between your spirit and the truth we revealed is something you will carry forward in every decision, in every step, and in every moment when fear tries to whisper something different. Let your fingers seal this commitment. Feel the strength that springs from declaring who you are. If something in this conversation confirmed what your inner self already knew, let your like be your wordless amen. Don't count this as a number, but as a record, a signature that seals what was said and makes it part of your daily reality. You are protected, you are guided, you are renewed. At this exact moment, in all corners of the world, other people are receiving this same revelation and silently breaking the chains that tried to limit their progress. You are not alone on this walk. You are part of something greater, something that doesn't need fanfare to be real, and that is exactly why no one can stop your blossoming. What was revealed cannot be hidden again. What was broken no longer needs to be carried. It is sealed. Attention! You need to prepare yourself now. I have prepared material for those who doubt their own calling from God and still do not have confirmation. Are you one of the chosen? We'll give you that clarity. These are the 7 signs of the language of the calling, marks of God in the story of every chosen one, so you can reread your story and recognize the purpose sealed over you before the foundation of the world. Stop calling coincidence what is actually a calling. Stop silencing the sacred restlessness. Stop postponing the answer you feel. Your window is closing, and a chosen one who does not recognize the calling does not walk in purpose. More than 10,000 people have already read the 7 signs and received the conviction they had been seeking for years. They were just like you. They felt something no one understood. They lived in silent doubt, and they discovered it was real, and it had a name. The offer is open only this month. Access the link in the pinned comment now before doubt steals another year from your calling.